So we're going to ask you to switch tables, but before we do that, I would like each table facilitator to stand up and just say in a few words what you're talking about. So if someone wants to talk about what you're talking about, they can gravitate towards you. So starting over here with Rob's table.
We're talking about new media and globalization's impact on traditional dance forms.
New media and globalization with Rob. Wan Xiao.
We're talking about self-identity and access to use of traditional forms.
Wan Xiao, your identity, and does it give you permission to use traditional forms? In the back, Jose?
We are talking about we are talking about the recognition of tradition, and also we are talking about function of criticism.
The definition of tradition, the function of criticism with Jose. In the middle here, with Mahia.
We are also talking about identity and access to traditional dance.
Same conversation as with Wan Xiao, but different, I'm sure. Rebecca.
We're talking about authenticity. What is authenticity and who has the power or authority to deem what is authentic?
Authenticity with Rebecca. Rasika?
We're talking about the audience and the role of the performer in educating the audience and how the audience perceives tradition and innovation.
Educating the audience with Rasika. And Debbie.
We're talking about authenticity also, but kind of how it differs or is similar to how the words authentic versus traditional.
Authentic versus traditional with Debbie. And in the back with Jose. Jorge, sorry.
We've been exploring the relationship between tradition, innovation, and preservation. It's all very personal depending on where we're coming from, and so a lot of views overlap or bump up against each other.
Tradition, innovation, and preservation with Jorge and Thais. So if you are facilitating or taking notes, you get to sit, and every other single person in the room must stand up now and play musical chairs.
I don't know if that's necessarily how common that is. I think that, and I've done this as well, try different or learn a little bit and create your own choreography.
Yeah. Stages there and the audience. It can be challenging to sort of at least cross that mode that's between the stage and the audience.
Afro-Peruvian dance is also or passed down, so like you can audience like people just look up to realistically. So and there's a lot of power but I'm curious also about your take on it.
And so here I am in love with this place. I want to study it more. I didn't have the money to go to that ring. But if I didn't have the money, that also makes me kind of and using and abusing power. So like, I am a I've never invented one of those. Therefore, I own Hot Talk. And this Hot Talk is just often very chosen not to and that's problematic. Money. So there's so many different layers and yeah.
I have no idea about any of that. That adds such a different layer to the whole conversation about authenticity.
Who's allowed to have a name?
Well, teacher has to be more traditional.
No, I have to say that our work all are very complicated. Very hard with art forms that are not complicated.
The traditional aspect of it thought about when making the choice to innovate, you know, to change or to transform or contemporize or whatever it is. Like, what is the thought process? Was it, I'm keeping all of this in mind, or is it, I'm just taking this and I'm just going to do something new with it because I feel like it, I'm inspired to do so. And, you know, so I guess those are...
Well, that's like...
There, talking about identity and the role of identity in tradition. We have Debbie over here and Rebecca down in front talking about authenticity. We have Rasika right here and Jose in the back talking about audience and the role and responsibilities of the artist in relationship to educating an audience. And then finally over here we have Lily and Rob talking about new media technology and globalization. Please choose your final conversation now. Everyone must stand up and move.
Yeah, I think I'm Josie. That's what I'm saying. Stop it.
And I told them, self. With this policy, and I think they not the whole,
This evening, and I've heard some really interesting comments and ideas, and more than that, I've heard a lot of questions. And so what we want to do now at this point in the evening is turn the microphone over to you all as a group to sort of report back some of the salient ideas, questions, things that you felt passionate about, things that you're still thinking about, things that you want to share that you felt like your table came up with that were really good ideas. So would anyone like to start out that process? And I'm going to call on someone if I don't get a volunteer.
I'll do it,
Jesse.
Wow, it's loud.
You didn't have your own table, Jeffy.
What?
It's okay.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought it was anybody.
Anybody can talk.
Sorry. And so, innovation came up a lot, and I'll just keep it short, but I felt like one of the interesting things we talked about a couple times was innovation kind of as a point of access and like what it means to different people, like the way we see innovation in maybe Western European contemporary dance forms, things that are large and splattery and erratic and crazy versus tiny little nuances and shifts. Innovation as a privilege, innovation as expression and the way that different folks do and don't have access to expression. So just thinking about innovation.
Thank you. What else? So complicated and not enough time to think. Okay.
Well, I'll just say one of the things that came up, and I don't think we came to any conclusions at all, but the idea of authenticity or respecting a traditional form was interesting when we thought about the history of the development of specific forms and